when I was working in nightclubs, would constantly be going through my soul clients. And if I wasn't selling or promoting, I'm just checking in on them, seeing, yo, hey, this is Sean, just seeing how you're doing. Boom, boom, boom. Hope all's well. That's it. So I'm either doing customer service touch points, like keeping top of mind. And there's a phrase, called TOMA, top of mind awareness, right? That's where that comes from. I want to be top of these people's minds.
Let me ask you a question. Did you come here to listen to money or make it? This is L.A. Williams, the blind master. And Sean V. Bradley and I came here for one reason and one reason only. That's to fill your pockets with money. Now how we gonna do it? By giving you the secrets, techniques, and strategies for you to stop losing and start winning at this game called automotive professional sales. What's going on, everyone? This is L.A. Williams, Vice President with Dealer Synergy, the blind master and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. And who do I have across from me, man? I'm telling y'all having a great day because we got the one and only Mr. Sean V. Bradley. What's going on, Sean? We finally together, man. What's up?
Yeah, LA, it's kind of awesome. I miss our radio show when we had the iHeart show on FM and all over the country. Like, we got to do every single radio show episode together. But with the podcast, it's either you doing the interviews or I'm doing the interviews or Tiana. It's very rare that we get to do these together. So
yeah.
I'm excited, brother.
Cool,
so what's in store for today? What are we talking about today?
Well, the whole thing about this, man, is that we've been getting a lot of questions. People are like, man, Sean, I heard him give, because you remember the top of season 2, I think you did an episode of the podcast where you kind of just told people about your life and, how you got started and all of that good stuff. But as I listen to it as your personal friend, right, I'm like, okay, I get to learn about the personal Sean V. Bradley. I get to see his success now, but I'm really not catching the transition and how it went from the guy in getting locked up and all that kind of stuff like that, all the way to becoming the gentleman you are now, making over $50 million and all that cool stuff, right? So I think it'll help a lot of people if we I'm getting a lot of text messages in my ear but I think it'll help a lot of people if we had that conversation, like talk to them about what I really believe your superpower is, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I pick on Sean all the time because he's a sales guy, he's a sales master, right? But I pick on him, I'm like, yeah, man, but that's not your superpower, right? Me personally, from what I see from being around Sean, I believe his superpower is in branding, right? Them orange tie guys make your accounts rise and that whole flow, right? And so I'm like, I know that is a key aspect of success, especially in 2024. Like, folks don't know who you are. You ain't going nowhere, I promise you. You have to build an audience. Grant talks about that. Everybody talks about that. So, in order to get you from off texting, right, I want to ask you some questions, Sean. And I want you to just tell the people a little bit.
Spit it out, boy. I'm right here. All right. So ask the first question, brother. What's up?
All right. So here's what I want to know. How did you initially develop your expertise in marketing and SEO and that kind of stuff? How did you develop it? Start from the beginning.
All right. Well, then it's not with SEO. It's how did I develop my marketing and my branding skills on the street? Look, I'm just going to be very honest with you guys. I have a different life before I got into the automotive industry. I'm 47 years old. But I grew up very, very crazy in New York. And if you guys have not heard, I'm the star of a Vice TV show. The Vice TV is like a Showtime, HBO, Cinemax. It's a major TV network that's on cable. And they had a show called I Was a Teenage Felon. And it's, I was a kid and I got in a lot of trouble. So I know a lot of people know that, but some people that don't know me or my background, I'm very proud of who I am and where I came from. I don't glorify anything I did as a kid, but the last time I got in trouble, I was 17, 18 years old. I'm going to be almost 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't gotten in trouble in a long time, but the reality, LA, is I did a lot of crazy things as a kid, so I would say that when you're on the street, and you're in that type of environment and you got to sell things for a living, whether they're legal, not legal, whatever, you have to have a marketing strategy, and again, I don't want to get, this is not the right format for all the details, but to answer the question, I've been marketing products at some level since I was a young child. I'm talking about, since I was 6, 7 years old, up until my teenage years, I was very creative with my marketing.
This what we're saying. You do it better than anybody, Sean. We want to know.
Well, you asked me how.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I could tell you one crazy example, you know what I mean? Because it's funny. But now, when I was a kid, I used to sell bulletproof vests to people that needed them. And one of the early things I did was, it's a whole crazy story how I got them, you know what I mean? But I had a system, I got them, and they were real and they were good. But instead of like everybody else selling them on the street, mine had a hook. What I would do is I would actually put logos on them, you know what I mean? So I would put like a Superman logo, a Batman logo, F the police logo on there. I mean, just like crazy shit. And what not only it did, it raised the price of these things dramatically. A vest would cost X amount of dollars. Mine was now 20% more than everybody else's, but it was exclusive. It was personalized and was customized. So I created a whole sub market just by creative branding, right. And that was as a kid.
So this is what we want to know. What the hell made you think of that, right? To reach back and go, were you just sitting there one day, you're like, all right, I want to sell these, and oh, well, how can I make these better? Like, how did you think of, tell us the thoughts, like how did that pop into your mind, like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna sell it for more?
Okay, so I remember exactly what happened. Again, first, I got access to these things. I was like, all right, cool. Then, when some got sold, I was like, okay, these can make a lot of money, but they're not flying off the shelves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking to myself, okay, this is a product that somebody wants and needs. How can we get them to want it faster or want it more, right? Mm-hmm. Than just regular, because how do you change something from a commodity that everybody's got bulletproof vests, believe it or not, that deal in that stuff? Yeah. Why my vest? So I was trying to differentiate my vest from everybody else's. So I did a couple things. People might not realize this, but there's different levels of bulletproof, right? So you've got Kevlar and you've got Spectra. So I can't even believe I remember this stuff because this is like 20, 30 years ago type stuff, right? But Kevlar is good, but Spectra is, I think, better, and it's more lightweight, or was. And by the way, record people, I haven't sold bulletproof vests in 30 years, so I don't know anything about them now. I'm talking about 30 years ago, right? I could be off. There could be like Kevlar stupid. I know. But anyway, so what I did is I identified what everybody else was selling, and they were pretty much selling Kevlar. So I was able to get a hold of Spectra vests, which is a higher caliber vest, and it's a lot lighter, which makes it more appealing. And then the second thing is okay, so I had a higher quality product, like point blank.
Right.
Then it was like, okay, I need to make sure that that's not enough. What else can I do? And I'm like, all right, well, nobody knows except for the person that's wearing it, like what kind of, protection it is, Kevlar, Spectra, whatever. So again, if you're in that world, you're flashy, you know what I mean? And it's this. So I was like, you know what? There's a rap song. I feel like I got an S on my chest. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, but that's what got me thinking, you know what? These people out here thinking they're Superman. Well, you know what? Let me turn around and get you a little Superman logo so you feel good about yourself. And man, it was hilarious, LA. When I turn around and I put the first screen print on them, yo, my manitos from the block were like, what? Yo, he got the Superman on that shit. I gotta get that. I gotta get it. Yo, man, check this out. Look at this.
I love it.
I was like, oh, I want one too. Then I had orders, fam. I took orders and it was gone. Not only was I able to sell them faster, I was able to get more money for them.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. All right. So now here's the thing. So Sean, I don't want to this is about you, right? It's about the audience, right? So people want to know, okay, how So based on what you just said, right? How can I use that today? Because my cars are just like everybody else's cars, or my dealership might just be like everybody else's dealership. What are some things? Like, I love that concept of what else, right? You always, we pick on you at the office all the time. We all got these Sean colloquialisms, right? Either you're pregnant or not pregnant, or what does Sean always say? What else, right? In a meeting, we can't be in a meeting. We think we talked about everything, and Sean's like, what else, right? So that's a big part of why you are as successful as you are, is because it's never over for you. You always want to know what else. And you just said that right now. So how can somebody, what are some things that they should be doing? And then they shouldn't even take everything that you said. They should be asking themselves, what else? What else can I do?
Well, again, here's where it starts, though. This is an old school statement, but it's so powerful today. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sell yourself, sell the dealership, sell the product. I hear all that, right? But let's reverse engineer that. Let's go with the product, because that's what you said. Mm-hmm. You said we all have the same product. Not true. Absolutely not true. I'm going to start with the vehicle itself. Not every vehicle is exactly the same. There's different models. There's different options of it. So I would say that you need to understand your lineup. I don't care if you're a VW or your Ford, you need to understand all the vehicles in that lineup, and then what are the differences of them, and what does those mean? You can't just say that, okay, the basic package is this, the intermediate package is this, and the advanced is this. It's why. Why is it? You got to understand, these people have billions of dollars, these manufacturers. Why did they just randomly pick 3 different levels or 3 different packages? I promise you, it wasn't eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I don't know what else to do. It was data scientists, economists, and genius freaking people at the highest levels of money that said, you know what? The masses will like this version, and that version. But we don't ever pay attention to why. I do. I want to know why. Again, that's Sean Bradley right there. So I want to understand my products. Then I want to understand my manufacturer. I want to know, if I sell Fords, I want to know everything about Ford's value package proposition. Here's the thing. How could you work at a dealership, at a franchise, and you don't know who won what? If I'm a Ford dealer, I'm Googling this shit if the dealer doesn't tell me or my GM doesn't tell me. I want to know, what did JD Power say? What did, a car and driver say? What did the National Highway Traffic Safety Authority say? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to know what Edmunds.com said. I want to know what TrueCar said. And I want to know what everybody said in America about my cars. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start clipping this shit. I'm going to start saving a file, everything about, let's just say, on the Honda Accord, on the Honda Pilot, on the Honda this, on the Honda that. That way, when I'm talking, I'm not just talking out of my ass. I'm saying, Mr. Customer, did you know that car and driver said this, this, and this? Mrs. Customer, did you know that JD Power ranks this vehicle as this? And did you know that Kelley Blue Book says that this is the #1 vehicle on trade-in with the highest, appreciation level? You don't know that if you don't do the research. Most salespeople have no fucking clue about anything that wasn't just surface driven. You know what? I just listened to something. Let's pull this in here. Cat Williams, shout out to the GOAT right there. Cat Williams just broke the internet the other day. And if anybody listened to that, 33 million people listen to this, some of you listen to that too. And you know what Cat Williams said? And I quote, I had 300 black comics that were in the same category. Do you know that I studied every one of them, one by motherfucking one? I went through each of these comics, watched their show, and counted how many applauses he got, just so I could know I'm funnier. Not just funnier, by how many laughs funnier am I? That's the level this man is. He's got private jets. He just broke the internet. Why? Because he's got the work ethic of Kobe Bryant. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to master this, you got to turn around and break this down, reverse engineer it, and identify, why should somebody love this Honda Accord? Well, not just your opinion. What does the world say? What is, Highway Traffic Safety Authority? What is Motor Trend? What is Car and Driver? What is JD Power? What are my prospects? What does, CSI level say? I want to know inside and out. Now, I'm on a tangent. The next thing is this. You need to understand what most people want to to know, and I'm going to share them with you. Price, availability, convenience. I hate car salesmen, research, trade, and credit. So you got to reverse engineer yourself, all your people. Why should price shoppers buy from me? Reason, 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 reason. Why should convenience shoppers buy from me? Reason, reason, reason. Why should people that got bad credit, no credit work with me? Reason, reason, reason. Why should people that don't know what they want to buy, they want to research through me? Reason, reason, reason. Why should people that want to trade in their vehicle or sell their vehicle go to us? Reason, 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 reason. Why should people that don't like car people in a crazy way that they hear on TV, they're car salesman, why should they do it with me? Reason, reason, reason. Convenience. People are busy, don't have a lot of time. Why should they work with me? You guys ready? Take a breath. On top of all of that, what you got to find out is, why should females buy from me? Reason, reason, reason. Why should minorities buy from me? Reason, reason, reason. Why should business owners buy from me? Reason, reason, reason. Why should people that are parents buy from me? Why should people that are the first-time buyers buy from me? Why should people that are buying a vehicle for graduation, anniversary, birthday buy from me? And guess what? If you do all that stuff, you might be ready to start your career. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't answer those questions, then they don't deserve to buy a car from you, man. I'm sorry.
Or the other way around, you don't deserve them to buy a car from you.
That's what I meant. I'm on a tangent right now.
I got you. You're killing it.
You know what I'm getting at now?
Listen, man, I always come to every podcast with about 20 questions. That's what I've just believed that's what I should do. We ain't gonna get through that. We're not gonna get through all that, man. That could be the whole podcast right there. I've heard you say that many, many times, Sean, but I think that's the most relatable way you've ever put it for an individual. You talking about cat breaking the internet? This podcast is gonna break the internet right here, because you're breaking it down. You're giving them exactly. Like, I think that was so relatable. So here's the deal. And I know you said it wasn't about SEO, but that is, well, you tell me, am I wrong or is this right in saying that could be a major difference between one salesperson and another? If one knows how to do SEO and the other one doesn't, they're just doing these random videos and all that different kind of stuff. They're just throwing stuff together, and the other one began with the end in mind. I hear you mention that sometimes, and they kind of have an SEO strategy of, making sure that they're found. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I will, but I want to put that a little bit later, LA.
Okay.
Because I have a flow in my head from these questions. So
so this is funny. Hold on, wait. So Sean got a list of questions in his head he didn't share with me yet, but it's all good. We're going to let this thing rock because he's killing it.
So no, but this is based on your first question. What I don't want to do is I don't want to jump to the technology, because I'm trying to think of your question. How did I do this? What did I do in my youth? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The next thing is this: you need to evangelize yourself. I don't mean in a cult-like way, but since I was on the block and on the street or whatever, I was always getting into something. I was always with this clique, that the skaters, the street kids, this. I am networking. I am all over the place. I'm also finding out what people need, what people want, what problems do they have. Because think about this. You know how you want to make friends? You want friends? I'm going to tell you the secret. LA, come close.
What's up?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. If you want friends, do stuff for people. If you want friends that stick around for you, you know what I mean, that are going to be there, that are going to possibly take your calls or whatever, you can't just be the leech all the time asking people for whatever. You got $1, you got a cigarette, you got some lunch, you got some time. Everybody's always asking for somebody for something, always, and it's usually the same people. Flip it, man. Instead of being the person that's always asking somebody, hey, you want to buy something for me? Buy. Refer. Hey, do you know anybody who wants to buy a car? If that's the only time you communicate with people, it breaks my heart, because there's a lot of poorly trained people in our industry and a lot of poorly trained managers managing people that are doing these BS phone calls or these BS CRM processes. Like, you haven't talked to somebody in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you you call them out of the blue because you like them, but wait a minute, not really, because at the end of the call you squeeze in there, hey, do you know anybody that wants to buy a car? No, that is not a relationship call. That is not a deposit into the emotional bank account. One of the things I did as a kid is I inserted myself, I infiltrated myself, I put myself all over the place that I could so I could meet as much people. LA, before I got into the automotive industry, I used to work for nightclubs, the largest nightclubs in the world in New York City, London, etc. We worked with some of the biggest nightclubs. And I used to run VIP parties in the nightclubs. And in a TV show, I talk about this on Vice TV that aired in front of 8.5 million people, right? My episode, they did a whole hour episode of my life with the live reenactions, LA and everything. And in there, it talks about my career in the nightclub industry at a very high level. One of the things I had to do as I was running VIP parties, I had to go to nightclubs. I know it's a hard life, right? And party and have fun with really beautiful people. But that was my job, is I would have to go meeting people. Think about this. In New York City, the nightclubs had about 5,000 people a night. Like on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, there was like 15,000 people that went to these clubs over the weekend. And I used to run a VIP party that would have about 200, 250 people in the ultra VIP party, like you see on TV. It was like that, New York City wise. And I used to have to grow my VIP room. And part of that way is finding fabulous people that have money or that have the right look that you would want to be in that VIP room. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would go to other nightclubs to just meet people, converse, and then invite them to our club, to our VIP experience. Do you see what I'm saying? I would go to places that those type of people would be at for us, whether that's other EDM concerts, other techno stuff, or other type of venues, whether they're golf courses or they're country clubs or they're other social clubs, etc. My whole purpose was to network. So you asked me what's one of my successes and why I'm all over the place, because I'm involved in so many different things. I have access to so many different people. Ella, you were at the red carpet premiere.
Yeah.
One of the themes that people were shocked is that the massive diversity that was in that red carpet premiere for the Vice TV show. We had friends from my town, from New York, from my old crazy life, from the street, professional actors, professional athletes, professional rap stars. It was crazy.
Yeah.
There was so much diversity. That's the thing, is a lot of times people, they get stuck in a box. They have their same friends, they have their same people, they do the same shit every day. And that's why they're wondering why they're not selling a ton of cars, because you have the same life, the same friends, the same network, the same people that you're around, and you're not building your network.
Wow.
If you want to be successful in car sales, build out your network. Let me be specific to you in this, LA. My wife, as you know, because you're her producer, was a major recording artist. She's got 75 million views. She's got tracks. She was a singer with Meek Mill, Remy Ma, Pat Poose, Young Chris, Larry T, and a whole bunch of other ridiculous A-list celebrities, right? 75 million views. The record labels don't just give record deals to people because they could sing and dance and they're beautiful or they're kind or whatever. They don't give a shit. They want to know, can you sell units? Will people go to your concerts? Will they buy your merchandise? That's why they have these 360 deals, because that's who gets record deals. People that have an audience that will buy their stuff. I am a best-selling author of a book called Googleopoly. My book is, you can't see this, Ellie, but the people count on here. It's in Cantonese. I have my book all over the world in multiple languages, and it's not just the cover. It's literally everything right here, right? You know what my publisher told me? They said, look, we don't even care if you could write. Because I have bad grammar stuff. It's like, that's what we have editors for. The book publisher said, I don't care if you can spell. Imagine that. They don't care. They know that I don't have great grammar. I'm from the hood. I just told you, bulletproof vest, Spectre, baby, right? So how did I get a book deal by a $10 billion publishing company called Wiley, which is the #1 business book publishing company in the country, right? How did they sign me? I only went to one publisher, the best one, and they hired me. I didn't audition. I didn't have to go to Glassdoor, Indeed for a publisher. No, I went right to the #1 business publisher and I showed them my books, my not my written books, my accounting books. And when they see the millions of dollars that I make in training and information, they're like, oh, we need to give this man a book deal. Why? Because I could conjugate verbs? No, because I have an audience to sell to. And they believed that if they invested in me and published a book, that I'd sell a lot of books. And guess what? They were right. I'm a bestseller. Legitimately.
Man, listen.
So what I'm saying to you guys is this: what you need to do is build an audience. You don't have to be international. You don't need 75 million views. You need to be a local celebrity. What does that mean? You should be networking with all of the businesses, restaurants, insurance, mechanics, gas stations, nail parlors, barber, whatever. You need to mingle with everybody. Be part of EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, right? You could go to Chambers of Commerce, Philadelphia, 100 Black Men. So you could do this in business, and LA could jump in a second, but you need to expose yourself to and not in a weird way, by the way. You need to expose yourself to a diversified audience, man. You need to expose yourself to a diversified audience. How much is enough? You need to think of yourself like beach sand. You know, when you go to the beach, LA, and you go in the water, you get some sand in you, you come out, you try to take a shower, and you know what, you rub a dub, scrub, and still the next day you find a sand follicle on you. I know it because it's all of us. Think of yourself like beach sand, man. You want to be integrated all through the community, all through everybody over there, because you want to network. And when you're there, you're trying to promote people's businesses. You know, you want to do lives. You want to go Instagram Live, Facebook Live, TikTok Live, and just introduce people. The more that you help other people win, they're going to remember that. Because if you're going to a local pizzeria that don't have no money for a freaking ad budget, and you were at a dealership and you have all that advertisement, and you're going to mention this guy, this lady's pizza parlor or Subway shop or coffee shop or whatever, they're going to appreciate that, because that's going to give them business. That's going to give them attention. It's going to give them a cosign. Now you times that by everybody that you know. Let's go. Talk to me, LA.
Okay, this is, again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, sometimes interviewing Sean V. Bradley can be very easy. I just give you like 2, 4, 5, 6 words, and you just run, right? So all y'all folks, if you want him on your podcast, let us know. We'll see if it's worth his time. But listen to me, Sean, before we go any further, right? I need you to time yourself. Can you set a timer? I need 60 seconds on the power of, obviously, if you're doing all of this, you're getting in front of a bunch of people. You could do that with a company called Co-Video that's going to be they're going to be at Internet Sales 20 Group in Baltimore. We're going to be doing that in April. So can you give me 60 seconds on the value of working with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Co-Video is an incredible company. I've actually used Co-Video myself personally, and what Co-Video specializes in LA is video, email, and video text messaging platform. I'm going to give you some stats because I wrote the book on Google, remember?
Yeah.
First and foremost, 55% of communication is visual perception, body language. 38% of communication is sound and inflection. Only 7% of communication is text, the words we use. But if you are doing video emails or video text messages, you've got sight, sound, motion, and emotion. You got the full 100% form of communication. There have been data scientists and psychologists that have verified that when you speak to somebody in video, you get the exact same comprehension, retention, and utilization of information as if you had somebody right there, which is not the case in static email or in even a phone call. A regular email is only 7% of communication. A phone call is only 38%. So if you want to increase your comprehension, your clarity, your excitement, your passion, your transference of energy, you need to use Co-Video.
Absolutely. And they're going to be at the Internet Sales 20 Group in Baltimore, April 15th through the 17th. So you want to make sure you're there. All right, Sean, here's the thing. So I heard you say it was your job, and I've heard you say that before, and it was like, okay, is he saying that like he just made it his job, or did somebody hire him? Was there training? Did they tell you all of this stuff
actually,
that you're telling them?
Yeah, so you're talking about the nightclubs?
Yeah.
Or the Bulletproof vest?
Mm-hmm. No, the nightclubs.
I was self-employed for that one. All right, so for the nightclubs, no, I was actually hired to work for the Limelight and Tunnel and Palladium. So there's been movies about the case. There's been movies about these nightclubs. They were legitimately some of the largest nightclubs and the most respected nightclubs in the world in any country. Mm-hmm. And I was there in the middle of the 90s. So when I got hired by them, I was hired as a promoter. So what my job was to build out the VIP rooms. So understand, if there's 5,000 people in a nightclub, there's multiple VIP rooms. There might be, at ours was huge. There's probably like 7 to 10 VIP rooms. And then so you're thinking that if they have 200 to 250 a piece, again, you're looking at approximately probably about 1,000 to 1,200 people are in these rooms compared to the other 4,000 that are in the common areas. So yeah, we had to learn about the product, which was the nightclub itself.
Hmm.
So they did actually teach us, like, what's different and better about the nightclub. They didn't say it that way. Um, they did teach me, and this is, wow, Ellie, I haven't had this question. It's a good question. I haven't thought about this in 30 years almost, right? But we had to keep track of stuff. So I used to have a kind of funny, a Franklin Covey planner. Okay. So I used to have a physical planner, and I would have to keep track of two things: my prospects and my clients. And I don't think I ever told you about this part. This is legit. Okay. So with my clients, I would have to find out about them. So for example, because remember, I'm working at the number one nightclub in the world. Okay. Super rich, super high fashion, stuff like that. So we're going to role play. Let's say I'm talking to LA, right? And I'm building LA up, and then LA comes to my party. These are the things that I need to know about LA. Okay. But name, his occupation, or what school, because a lot of the people back then were in college at the university and stuff, like NYU and whatnot, Columbia, etc., FIT. So I would try to find out about, if you're in school, your major, your focus, but I'm also finding out questions like fashion. Who's your favorite designer? Jean Paul Gaultier, Gianfranco, Versace, whoever it is, Chanel. Okay, I have your designers. DJs, who's your DJ? Here's why, because I did VIP parties. One of my parties I did was for Grace Jones, supermodel for Calvin Klein, Angelica Callio, and then for like Boy George, it was actually the DJ, right? This is crazy stuff. So think about this. If I'm doing a house party and the DJ is Boy George, who's spinning house music, and we're gonna have Angelica Callio, who's a supermodel for Calvin Klein, and then we're gonna have Grace Jones, who's just a diva, right? So now I go into my database for all the people that like house music, right? And then what I would do is, after I got my manifest list, I'm now turning around and back then there wasn't text messaging. You know what I mean? So I am literally calling all those people and either leaving messages, or I am going to invite them to come to this. I'm like, hey, LA, this is Sean. Yeah, great. How you been? Well, listen, I just wanted to let you know I'm super excited. We just booked Angelica Callio, Grace Jones, and it's going to be hosted by none other than Boy George. I think you would love it. Can I count you in this weekend for the party? LA?
This is crazy, man. You telling about a CRM. You talking about going through.
So we didn't have CRMs back then. We had Franklin Covey freaking planners, bro. I'm old. You know what I'm saying? I'm old. This is the 90s. And so no, but that's crazy we needed to understand who our clients were. That way, you know what I mean? When we had different DJs or different themes or different designers or different, whatever, I knew who in my database to call, especially at this level. You know what I mean? These are the elite people, right? So you want to make sure it's straight, because you didn't want to invite somebody like me personally. Like I don't like certain music. So if I'm into underground house or techno, I'm going to think you're nuts if you invite me to banjos and country music or whatever. And it's not that extreme in my example, but my point being is that I needed to know who my audience was, and I needed to follow up with them and keep track. And that's where that comes in with me, LA, is I was always on my phone, even when I was in the streets, even when it was a big, like the Motorola StarTech phones with a big battery, stuff like that. Even when it was then, I'm always circling through my phone. And what does that mean, team? Like, that's listening to this podcast, is I'm literally, when I was working in nightclubs, would constantly be going through my sold clients. And if I wasn't selling or promoting, I'm just checking in on them, seeing, hey, this is Sean, just seeing how you're doing. Boom, boom, boom. Hope all's well. That's it. So I'm either doing customer service touch points, like keeping top of mind. And there's a phrase, called TOMA, top of mind awareness, right? That's where that comes from. I want to be top of these people's minds. I don't want them to forget who I am, because when I do need to have them, come to a party that's important for me or the club, I don't want them to run from me or forget who I am. I want them to answer the phone.
Did you think of that on your own, if somebody told you to do that?
I think that they are the ones that told me that I should track it, but the philosophy and stuff, I figured out on my own. I don't recall anybody teaching me that, but the actual act of tracking, keeping up with my sold customers and getting to know them, that's as far as it was. They gave me a vague what to do. Hey, we want you to follow up with these people, get to know them, and use that information to keep them coming back to us. That's as far as they gave me. They gave me the overview. I had to put the pieces pieces together one by one. And this is me being like 16, 17 years old. This is like a while ago.
Yeah, and that's why it's so challenging when, you're talking to salespeople and they're like, you got all this opportunity out here and they don't.
This shit is crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy to me. Do you understand when I sold cars in 1999, there was no CRM, and this is like your granddad is going to come talk to you now. So listen up. All right. Come sit on my knee as I explain this. Like, you don't have any idea how crazy it is that there were no CRMs. There was a long ass, like horizontal long, like log. You know what I mean? It was like this sideways version of a legal pad. It was long. And then we had a black Sharpie marker, we had a red Sharpie marker, and we had a yellow highlighter. And that was it. That was our CRM. Okay, how do we follow up with people? It's called sticky notes and your memory, man, and pieces of paper all over the place. Those were the good old days. And I'm being facetious. Those weren't the good old days. Those were just the old days, period. And what happens is, it wasn't anything that we have here. So when I see that these professionals have CRMs with automation, what's that? An automated email response? What's that? Video? What's that? AI? What the hell is that? Artificial intelligence? Is this the Jetsons? I grew up in the dealerships in the Flintstones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, yeah, it's sad to me that dealers and automotive professionals are not leveraging the... Do you realize how silly this is? You could tell Siri, hey, Siri.
You done set a bunch of people's devices.
No. I'm doing it for real. Watch. Hey, Siri.
Yes, Lord Bradley?
So I don't know if you guys heard me, but, she said yes. So then I could say, Siri, set an appointment at 3:15 to call LA.
Okay. Your appointment is set for tomorrow at 3:15.
And then she's now texting me back. And that's do you know how easy it is? You could use Amazon Alexa, Apple Siri, you know what I mean? You could use Google Home. There's voice commands to do it. Remind me, call this person, set that. And then you have all this AI, you have all this integration. There's all these things here to make your life easier. But every dealer that I feel that I talk to personally, they're only scratching the surface of their resources, the dealership resources, their basic smartphone resources, their Google resources, their YouTube resources. There's so much that we have access to at our fingertips. We have too much information. We don't have a lack of information problem anymore. Yeah. Maybe a couple hundred years ago, it was a lack of, what do I do? Is the earth really round? I mean, dumbass question. No, you have the entire knowledge of the universe on voice command. For real.
You're killing it. So well then, with that being said, right, we know we got all the information. We knew that was the challenge before. And I'm trying to find a way, because I don't know how in the world we're going to wrap this up. Again, I only asked really like one, maybe one and a half.
I'm going to go back here. I'm going to help you. I'm good at this. I got this.
Wait, what we do want to know is, I do want to know, what is the challenge now, and how do we overcome it?
I don't like that question. I'm going to go with my own question first.
Yeah, of course you don't.
Then we're going to go back. I promise. So here's what I say. The other thing that I did differently is I consumed. And it's funny. I don't know if Cat Williams was lying or exaggerating, whatever. He said, I read 3,000 books a year. That doesn't add up to me, for the record, but I ain't mad at him. He is very well read. He is highly intelligent. And what was crazy is that when he was a kid, he read the encyclopedia, the entire thing. And I did it because I was grounded and I liked reading, but I really did read the encyclopedia as a kid. I've studied so much LA. When I sold cars, I taught myself, and this is how I transitioned to your other question about the SEO. I taught myself website design. Okay. I literally got books, how to do HTML for dummies. I literally talked to Microsoft and lied, conned the guy at the help desk, saying, I'm going to get my law fired if you don't teach me how to design websites. And they, on the phone, taught me how to use Front Page 2000 Facts. I taught myself how to use Dreamweaver. I taught myself how to use Java Boutique and how to cut Java code out. I taught myself how to, use Flash websites back in the day. So I taught all myself that. So I could design websites. And then the next level is search engine optimization. I took a 5-day course that I spent thousands of dollars for like 15 years ago. an international course in the United States for search engine optimization, a 5-day course. It was like 40 hours of a legit SEO course. On top of that, I read books on, search engine optimization. I went through Google AdWords training and certification and all that stuff. I taught myself all this. And when I wrote the book on Google, I collaborated with the top executives in our industry for SEO and web design, and people like Rand Fishkin. And if anybody knows who that is the godfather of SEO outside for the planet Earth. He's an amazing SEO expert. I got him personally to give me quotes and information for my book. So when I made my book about Google, I researched and I collaborated with the SEO and internet gods of my world, literally. So what I'm trying to say is that I mastered my motherfucking craft of automotive sales. What I needed to do is not just master the product knowledge and my value package proposition. I started in 1999, right when the internet started to really form itself in our industry. And nobody knew anything about websites or SEO or CRMs. I taught myself all of that. I didn't mention to you before, I went through Goldmine training. I went through ACT training. I went through Sugar CRM training, which was the first open source CRM platform out there that was really, really good. I studied all of those outside CRMs as well as all of our internal CRMs. Like, I just studied my ass off. I literally would obsess and try to learn anything. I put myself into Toastmasters. I put myself into Franklin Covey. I put myself into skill path training seminars. I went to industry events. I went to out of industry events, LA. I studied my craft. And people wonder why I'm so good.
Yeah.
Why is Kobe Bryant so good? Why is Cat Williams so good? Because they are masters of their craft. Why do you laugh when Dave Chappelle tells a joke? Because he's a master at his craft. Why did that dude from SEAL Team 6 put 2 shots into Osama bin Laden and killed him? Because that's what Navy SEALs do. They put terrorists on their backs because they're a master of their craft. And why are people running around selling 10, 15 cars a month? Because they are not masters of their craft. They are just playing the game.
Goodness gracious. I'm telling you, you absolutely killed it, man.
I'm keeping 100.
You absolutely are. You absolutely are. And
it's not that hard. I mean, like, for the love of God, I just want to go back on this tangent. When you look at great people, let's play a game for like 30 seconds. Name some great people. I'll start. Tom Brady. Okay. Yep. Tom Brady, your turn.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Muhammad Ali. There we go. Your turn.
Okay. So I guess we're going with athletes now, or beyond athletes. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Let's go ahead.
Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to Kobe Bryant. Your turn.
Come on, man. We can go all these different fields. Oprah Winfrey.
So here, what am I getting at?
Yeah.
Every one of those people and anybody that we can talk to about, honestly, they obsess themselves in their craft, LA. They obsess themselves in their craft. They broke it apart. They looked at it inside, outside, forwards, backwards, and they just freaking immersed themselves in it. They wanted to learn everything they could about it. If they love this craft, then they can't hate developing themselves or what have you. I don't know if a lot of people love what they're doing, but I'm telling you, you need to have an affair with your career. You need to fall in love with this, and you cheat on this with it.
Yeah, man. You're killing it right now, man. You're absolutely rocking and rolling. So listen, and we got to keep things rolling because we have so many different people that are going to be at Internet Sales 20 Group. I know that there is one who specializes in SEO. Can you talk for 60 seconds about them real quick?
Yeah. So absolutely. Local search is, in my opinion, one of the absolute best SEO companies out there. So you have Mr. Greg Gifford, who I would say is the absolute best person in the automotive industry for SEO. Here's why. I mentioned to you before that there's obviously different industries. I was in the entertainment industry before. I'm currently also in the national speaking industry. I'm in the NSA, but there's a whole other genre out there called search. So they have conferences like NADA, but for search engine optimization. This guy, Greg Gifford, is not just an expert in our industry. He's the number one sought out SEO expert in the world. He goes all around planet Earth, all over countries in Europe, South America, everywhere, and he teaches SEO. So if you really are interested about anything search engine optimization or search engine marketing related, you're really going to see somebody that I just talked about that masters their craft. He's a master of SEO.
Yeah. And where is he going to be in April?
At the April 15th to the 17th at Lord Baltimore for the Internet Sales 20 Group 15, folks. This is the 15th conference. Let's go.
Absolutely. It's going to be phenomenal. All right, man. So how can we, just kind of close this thing out? Because, again, we'll be here for hours and hours. I really was at like 1.5 questions. I got so many different questions, so many different things I want to talk to you about branding. Because at this point in time, you've got, obviously, the Orange Tie Guy brand. You've got the Millionaire Car Salesman brand there. You're known all over the industry by the people who love you and the people who hate you, right? and so many, for these key things. And I'm
showing my tattoo on here, LA, because you can't see this. I put my arm up with the Dealer City logo tattooed on my body.
Yeah, all right, so you live it. You live your own brand, right?
That's it right there. Look, how am I so branded? Tell them about the ChatGPT thing. That shocked me when you said that. You asked that as a question.
Yeah, so it is really cool because I ain't even at this level yet, right? Yeah, Sean V. Bradley, you could say, tell me about Sean V. Bradley. What is Sean V. Bradley known for? You can ask it questions and it'll tell you. Like it'll be like part of this interview, because I use ChatGPT for everything, just so y'all know. I'm like, hey, give me a list of 10 questions that I could ask Sean V. Bradley, and then of course I know how to hone it and all that kind of good stuff. But I mean, it knows you, my man. Like you're really like ingrained in AI technology.
Well, LA, first of all, okay, look at all the media that I'm in. All right, I'm actually in movies because of my case. Like, and I'm not going to get into all that right here. Yeah. But like in film, like my story, my life is in a movie. That's one. I'm the star of a Vice TV show that went to 8.5 million households and a ton of different things. I'm doing the Jubilee, the number one, game show like in the world. It's got like 8 million subscribers for the channel itself. I'm doing that viral show. That one episode got 6 million views. I wrote an international best-selling book that's in different countries in different languages. Me and you had a radio show that went, coast to coast, that had over 1 million, people that were able to tune into the show from iHeartRadio on FM and AM. So there's a reason why I've done all that, because I learned this a long time ago, right? There is power in numbers. If I'm going to think about this, if I have 10 people and I can sell them a product for $1, that's $10, right? If I had 100 people, okay, and I same dollar, it's $100. If I know 10,000 people for $1, it's $10,000. So see, exponentially, it makes more sense to build those numbers. The more people that know me, the more people that know of me, the more opportunity I have to do things. I'm going to give you an example. It's not just about making cash. The connections I made, let me explain this to you. I've become very close friends with a major UFC fighter, personal close friends, very, very good friends, I could say, to the point where he is training my son every Sunday for high school wrestling. I have a fucking UFC fighter and a former Division I wrestler training my son. That's because of my network. And I offer to pay. He doesn't want to take $1, which is mind-blowing. So you got to understand, I learned that my entire life, LA, that by being involved in so many different, forms of group friends and activities and clubs, associations, and, sporting, all that gives me access to people, gives people access to me. But what if people don't watch movies? Well, I need to be on the TV. Okay, you're there now. What if people don't watch TV? That hopefully they read. Okay, well, what if they're blind? Well, guess what? I got a blind best friend, and guess what? We got audio, baby. We got podcasts and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is my point. That's why I'm in all of this media. Do you understand?
I do.
And it's economically the right way. Listen to me. I'm going to give you some fire salespeople and automotive dealerships. There's a numbers game. NADA says that the highest closing ratio is repeat customers. The second is referrals and B-backs. It's 65% and it goes down to 55. But yet an internet prospect is 5%, 6%. Why? Are you not focusing on building your own book of business and repeat customers? Nope, nope, nope. Don't care about those people. They're the most expensive for me to make most money, but I'm going to go with the least closing stuff with the least gross profits possible. It's because we're trained poorly, I believe. Because if you want to make your life easier, focus. We don't have a huge sales team in our company. How have I been in business for 20 years doing this? I don't have a product. I'm the product. My mouth is the product. Information is the product. How am I owning this company for 20 straight years, working with thousands of dealerships, tens of thousands of people, right? And I don't have a sales team because I have the Millionaire Car Salesman group, the #1 group. I have the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, #1 podcast. We got all this shit. So all these people, tens of thousands of people are in my automotive group. Who are they going to call? Some random person they don't know anything about, or the person they listen to on a daily, weekly level that's transparently right there on live all over the country, every day, every week, helping thousands of dealers. The subject matter expert.
Yeah.
So everything that you see me do, LA, since you've worked with me for the last 15 years, everything you see us build is the same thing I did when I was on the street, same thing I did in the dealership. What's made me successful my entire life, I just brought into the automotive industry.
Man, I'm telling you, absolutely killing it. Again, y'all, we don't have time to go through everything, right? But I'm telling y'all, I'm building this profile because I know there are so many people who want to be able to do what Sean does, who he is. They want to be their own version of a Sean V. Bradley, right? And even for me, man, I'm telling you, I count it as such a blessing to know you and to watch you and how you move and everything like that. I'm telling you, it's a big reason why I succeed in so many different areas of life because I pay attention, man. And so I just wanted y'all to get a glimpse. I apologize, I couldn't I couldn't get it all to y'all in one podcast. But Sean, we're gonna have to do more of this because there's so many different pieces to the puzzle. And listen, this is my guy, right? I so admire him, and I just think that there's not enough people who get to see the real Sean V. Bradley. Y'all see the the version that you see on TV and all that good stuff. But man, there's some real cool, transparent moments that he has that he just us working together, we get the chance to see. And man, I'm telling you, it elevates him in my mind so much more because you guys don't get to see everything I get to see, and I'm the blind one. You know what I'm saying? So listen, we ain't gonna be here long, Sean. I just need a closing statement of some sort, and then we're gonna tell these folks go out there and be their own millionaire car salesman. So what you got for them?
Give me a second to think about this. I'm going to close this right. I really had a lot of fun talking to you today, and I just wanted to just kind of just freestyle with you guys.
We scratched the scratch, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, the podcast has been going on for years. We're on season 8, about to go to season 9, and it's mostly not just me ever just talking or just you. It's almost always all these amazing people from the industry. We have created such a big platform, That's what I would say to you guys out there is leverage all the stuff that you have at your fingertips at the dealership, on the internet, whether it's the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, whether it's the Facebook group, whatever it is. If it's just Google or YouTube, leverage these resources to help you get better. Because again, the biggest thing that I also realize, LA, is time. Is that most people forget that time is the only thing that cannot be replenished. It cannot be replaced. We can't buy more of it in any way, shape, or form. So every day, you got to remember that there's only 86,400 seconds in a day. And once they're gone, they're gone. And I just can't imagine working in an industry as incredible as us, that you have the opportunity to make as much money as you can earn, and you spit on it. By what? By not doing what you can do. There's people that are 2 paychecks away from being homeless. That's the average American. Google it, okay? And you are in an opportunity, you can make as much money as you can earn. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to shout out some people. You got Cody Carter, who just sold, and it's official, LA, 1,400 units on the showroom floor in 2023. He sold 1,400 cars on the showroom floor in 2023, and he made $1.2 million in personal income as a car salesman. That is what the potential of greatness looks like, economically speaking, in our industry. And if you are not a millionaire in this industry, then you better ask somebody, because you should be, and you could be.
I love it when you give folks permission. You'll be like, man, look, ain't nobody ever gave you permission. I'm giving you permission. Give them permission to do it, Sean. Nobody ever gave it.
You have my permission. To be.
All right, y'all, man.
Listen,
phenomenal, man. Go out there and be. Listen, I always say you're the average of 5 people who you spend the most time with. You've just been spending time with Mr. L.A. Williams, and I was just kind of like I was just holding the sign today, man. And Mr. Sean V. Bradley, the Millionaire Car Salesman. It's your turn. Go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Imagine there is a bank that credits your account each morning with $86,400. It carries over no balance from day to day, and every evening, it deletes whatever part of the balance you failed to use during that day. What would you do? Draw out every cent. Each one of us has such a bank. It's called time. Every morning it credits you with 86,400 seconds, and every night it writes off as lost whatever you have failed to invest wisely. It carries over no balance. It allows no overdraft. Each day it opens a new account for you. If you fail to use the day's deposit, the loss is yours. There is no going back. There is no drawing against the tomorrow. You must live in the present on today's deposit. Invested in every opportunity, you've got to make the most of today, right here, right now. The clock is running. To realize the value of 1 month, ask the dealer who lost $50,000 retro money because of a single unit. To realize the value of 1 week, ask the manager whose team has no appointments on a Saturday. To realize the value of 12 hours, ask the salesman who worked bell to bell, missed their child's recital, and still didn't make a sale. To realize the value of 2 hours, ask the BDC agent who left just before prime time and missed the connection that led to a 2-car deal. To realize the value of 1 minute, ask the salesman who unknowingly traded a 5-pound up for a smoke break. To realize the value of 1 second, ask the person on the lot who narrowly avoided an accident. To realize the value of 1 millisecond, ask the person who took the silver medal in the Olympics. Time waits for no one. Don't wait until it's too late. Make every second count. Be aware of what's most important to you. Take advantage of every opportunity to do more, be more, and achieve more. Remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called the present.